I am Pragya, and I bring to you excerpts from the current issue of Outlook. The issue looks at two cover stories. One, in which Outlook continues to cover Gaza and reaffirms its commitment to bearing witness. In this issue, there's a double cover with a dedication to poet and academic Rafat Al-Arir, also called the Voice of Gaza, who was killed in an Israeli airstrike. The cover is an image composed of many images of ruins and remnants in Gaza, arranged as a mountain to show the scale of loss. War on Gaza, the Politics of Language in Media Coverage by Snigdhendu Bhattacharya from Outlook. Mainstream media uses different sets of words for the two sides when reporting on the Israel-Palestine conflict. On October 12, at the India Today news channel's primetime show, News Today, anchored by well-known journalist Rajdeep Sardesai, UK-based Palestinian academician Makram Khurimakul described Hamas's operational method as a military struggle that was resorted to after the world failed Palestinians in the face of the years of Israeli atrocities. Sardesai protested instantly. "Let us not justify terrorism. This is terrorism, sir," he said, regarding Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel. He then asked the question that has been thrown at every Palestinian representative appearing on mainstream TV news channels, especially those headquartered in the US and Europe. Will you and others condemn the Hamas terror attack on Israel? Innocent civilians were killed in a barbaric fashion. Do you agree that the first step towards any kind of reconciliation is clear and outright condemnation of what is seen as terrorism of the worst kind? Sardesai has never used words like terror, crime, or barbaric about Israel's role in Palestine in his shows, even though he did mention a lot of concerns about the nature of the Israeli offensive and what it means for civilians caught in the crossfire. He never asked Israeli authorities to condemn Israel's indiscriminate and relentless bombardment. Sardesai is no exception. He represents the broad trends displayed by the mainstream media, especially those media houses located outside the Arab world. According to an editorial in the New Humanitarian, which is an independent non-profit news outlet headquartered in Switzerland, American and British television outlets demanded the condemnation of Hamas from Palestinians as a ticket of entry to the conversation. US broadcast giant CNN shows have been replete with words like savage and terrorist reserved for Hamas, which they report launched a brutal assault, went on a rampage in Israel, slaughtered Israelis, and carried out massacres. But the Israeli government's military response has been spared such harsh words, referred to mostly as retaliatory attacks and offensive actions. An October 11th headline on CNN read, "Israel steps up Gaza offensive as brutality of Hamas attacks becomes evident." According to Pulitzer-winning New York Times contributor Mona Chalabi's analysis, with help from data compiled and analyzed by Holly Jackson, a researcher at the University of California, Berkeley, the word massacre shows up 24 times in reference to Israelis and once in reference to Palestinians in New York Times articles since October 7, 2023. In addition to the bias in the sheer volume of coverage, there was a huge difference in the language used, Chalabi wrote, adding that an analysis of 991 New York Times articles posted between October 7th and 18th showed that the articles rarely mention the names of Palestinians who died, using terms like mourner, resident, assailant, or militant instead. Language is very important. UK-based Palestinian journalist Yara Eid told a presenter of the British broadcaster Sky News during a live show in late October, "Palestinians don't just die, they get killed," Eid pointed out. The presenter had announced in her October 21 show that 1,400 Israelis were killed when Hamas first launched its attack on Israel, following which Palestinian authorities say that over 4,000 Palestinians died in Gaza. For this and more, read the current issue of Outlook.